original Audi A5 coupe has gone down as something of a style icon among fans of the brand, but its subtle looks were at times hard to distinguish from the four-door A4, particularly in Sportback form. You can't say the same for the more brutish new model though. With its lowered front grille, bulging bonnet and razor-sharp waveline along the side, it has gained an identity all of its own. We think the latest Audi A4 gives its rivals a proper run for their money, but can the same be said of the A5 coupe in comparison with the BMW 4 Series, Mercedes-Benz Class Coupe, and Lexus RC? Familiar engine range suiting the Audi A5's more sporting nature, it eschews some of the lesser-powered engines from the A4 range and features power from 190 horsepower to 354 horsepower. You get the same 2.0-liter units, plus the more potent 3.0-liter V6 diesel pair, and finally a 3.0-liter petrol engine in the S5 for serious performance. Quattro all-wheel drive is of course available, and there's a mix of 6-speed manual, 7-speed dual-clutch automatic and 8-speed traditional auto gearboxes on offer. Improved handling in line with A4 while the A5's driving dynamics still don't match up with its coupe pretensions. The new model is a big improvement on the old one. You still get the same Conrail's grip levels with Quattro all-wheel drive, but it's married to more feelsome and well-weighted steering this time around. Pick one of the faster diesel engines and you've got a great balance of power, precision and economy. New cockpit with plenty of tech. Step inside the A5 and you'll instantly recognize the dashboard layout from the Audi Q7 and A4. This is a good thing because the German manufacturer's current interior styling is seriously on point. As well as an elegant and simplistic layout, you get the same climate control buttons and MMI controller for the large LCD screen. Spec the optional virtual cockpit and you can flick between a satan of display, media information and trip computer data while leaving the main screen free for other functions. Read on for the full Audi A5 review. From launch there will be 5 standard engines, 3 diesel and 2 petrol plus an S5 specific unit, with up to 22% more power and 17% better efficiency. Petrol engines. The two choices here revolve around a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder unit, with either 190 horsepower or 252 horsepower, the latter available with Quattro all-wheel drive. With 320 Nm of torque available, the lower power output version hits 062 miles per hour in 7.3 seconds, while the more potent engine has 370 Nm of torque and cracks the benchmark sprint in 5.8 seconds. The 252 horsepower unit has a meaty soundtrack in dynamic mode but sounds a bit ordinary in day-to-day driving. It's quick but doesn't feel as flexible as its diesel counterparts, all of which have more torque available. Diesel engines from the base 2.0-liter TDI to the pair of 3.0-liter V6 units, the diesel lineup really suits the character of the A5 with strong gear acceleration. There's no 150 horsepower version of the entry 2.0-liter TDI like you get in the A4, but there is the 190 horsepower version that we prefer anyway. This makes relaxed progress with 400 Nm of torque and a 062 miles per hour time of 7.2 seconds, a tenth faster than its similarly powerful petrol equivalent. Topping the TDI diesel range is a 3.0-liter V6 with 2 power outputs, either 218 horsepower or 286 horsepower. The first matches the 2.0-liter torque with 400 Nm, while the latter packs an earth-moving 620 Nm. There are currently no performance figures for either, but in the A4 they clock in at 6.3 and 5.3 seconds from 062 miles per hour. The latter feels very fast indeed, pushing you into the back of your seat with stout acceleration, while all the time humming away quietly under the bonnet. Audi S5 Coupe. The fastest standard version is the S5, which is powered by a turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 petrol engine. This produces 354 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque, good for a 062 miles per hour time of just 4.7 seconds, 2/10 quicker than the outgoing model. Power is very spontaneous, especially at higher revs where any movement of your right foot is met by a jerking motion forwards or backwards. It's easier to drive more smoothly with the gearbox left in its normal D mode than the more responsive S setting. Sadly, the same quick reactions are not mirrored by the 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is a bit ponderous compared with the 7-speed dual clutch box. It's better when you commandeer the paddles behind the wheel and manage the gear shifts yourself, but still not as razor sharp as we'd like in a performance car. You also get quattro all-wheel drive and a racy soundtrack that makes itself heard in the cabin even at relatively low speeds. Luckily, it's a good sounding thing with a nice warble at low revs building to a high-pitched bellow at the red line. Gearboxes: there's a redesigned 6-speed manual and 2 automatic gearboxes depending on engine. The first is a 7-speed dual-clutch S-tronic automatic, available this time around with two-wheel drive cars standard on all but the top diesel and S5 and the 8-speed traditional Tiptronic auto. The latter is used on the more powerful 3.0-liter V6 diesel and the S5's 3.0-liter V6 petrol. Unsurprisingly, this new Audi A5 coupe shares similar handling to the A4 on which it is based, that is to say, it is a marked improvement on the old version. While the previous generation's steering was numb, this new car features much more feedback and a well-weighted, linear action. It feels more tied down too, useful when combined with the huge cornering traction enabled by sticky quattro all-wheel drive. You can set things up exactly how you want them with the Audi Drive Select system, taking in 5 modes called Comfort, Auto, Efficiency, Dynamic and Individual. Adaptive dampers like those on our test car give a good balance of performance and comfort too, with a cosseting ride over broken tarmac and a firmer setting for fast cornering. It still feels more like an A4 than we'd like though. Given its coupe designation, it would be more satisfying if the handling reflected this with a more sporting nature. Lifted from the A4 saloon and in part from the Q7 SUV, the dashboard of the A5 coupe is head and shoulders above its competition in terms of quality of materials, fit and finish and ergonomics. That's a strong statement, but one that can be easily backed up. All of the buttons and controls feel solid and pleasing to use, particularly the touch-sensitive climate control panel. The layout is simple but layered in a way that groups things together to make them easy to find. You sit quite low, which befits the coupe body shape, and it's easy to get everything set up the way you like thanks to a highly adjustable driver's seat and plenty of reach and rake in the steering wheel. Crunching motorway miles in an Audi A5 is a relaxing and quiet experience, with little wind, tire or engine noise infiltrating the cabin. The seats up front are large and supportive, particularly the optional sports versions and the extra bolstered chairs found in the S5. Pick them with a massage function and you won't be disappointed. It's not as comprehensive a treatment as those in the Mercedes-Benz class, but there's enough movement to mitigate any back pain. Ride quality is very good, even on broken surfaces, with lumps and bumps absorbed by the well-judged setup. The Audi A5 will come in the familiar SE, Sport and S-Line trims, with more equipment available as standard this time around. Standard Audi A5 coupe equipment, you get a fair amount of kit on base spec SE cars, with 17-inch alloys, xenon headlights with LED daytime signature, Audi smartphone interface, Audi Drive Select explained in handling, 3-zone climate control, a 7-inch color screen in the center console, cruise control, rear parking sensors, 3-spoke leather-trimmed steering wheel with gearshift paddles on automatic cars and keyless ignition. Move up to Sport and you get Sat-Nav, Audi Connect, Audi sound system with 10 speakers, sports front seats and steering wheel. Finally, S-Line cars benefit from 18-inch alloys, LED front and rear lights with scrolling indicators, embossed seats with 4-way lumbar support in Alcantara and leather, and lowered B20 sports suspension. S5 here you get Sat-Nav, Audi sound system, LED headlights with sweeping indicators, specific grille, aluminum door mirrors, 19-inch alloys, S body kit, matte aluminum rear diffuser, S sport suspension lowered by 23mm and gloss black brake calipers. Optional Audi A5 coupe accessories: there's plenty to choose from here with things like Audi phone box with wireless charging, Audi virtual cockpit, Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system, interior inlays in carbon atlas, piano black or oak wood, head-up display, matrix LED headlights and massaging seats. Both the A4 and the Q7 gained the full 5 stars from Euro NCAP, so while the A5 hasn't been rated yet, we can be pretty confident it'll do well. There's plenty of safety kit on offer including active lane assist, adaptive cruise control, pre-sense city emergency stop and multi-collision brake assist filling the roster. It's not as practical as the Audi A4, which should be a given considering that sloping roofline. The 2 back seats are best described as occasional for anyone over 6 feet tall, although smaller passengers will find the head and legroom acceptable. The boot is smaller than its 4-door siblings, but 10 liters up on the last A5, offering a total of 465 liters and 402,040 split rear seats. You can also get a gesture-controlled boot opener and an electric pop-out tow bar as options boosting the practicality of this two-door coupe.